Every morning your body releases a fat-storing hormone. And most people make it worse without knowing it. That hormone is cortisol. And the way your morning goes, in the first 30 minutes after waking, determines whether your body burns fat or locks it in place for the rest of the day. In this video, we show you exactly what cortisol does to belly fat, why your current morning routine may be making it worse, and the 5-step reset that takes less than 5 minutes, but changes what your body does with fat for the next 16 hours. This is not about willpower. It is not about eating less. It is about the one hormone that overrides everything else. Cortisol is not a bad hormone. It is a survival hormone. Every morning your body releases a surge of it. Scientists call this the cortisol awakening response. Its job is to mobilize energy, sharpen focus, and prepare your body for the demands of the day. In a natural environment, the one your biology was built for, that surge would peak, fuel your morning activity, and then decline steadily back to baseline within an hour or two. But modern life does not let that happen. You reach for your phone before your feet hit the floor. Texts, notifications, emails, social media, news. Your nervous system reads every single one of those as a low-level threat. Cortisol climbs higher than it was ever supposed to. Then you rush to the kitchen and grab something fast, something sweet, something processed. Blood sugar spikes. Insulin floods in. And cortisol, which was already elevated, has no reason to come back down. Or you do the opposite. You skip food entirely and walk out the door with nothing but coffee in hand. Same problem, different path. Here is why this matters specifically for belly fat. Cortisol does not just raise your blood sugar. It actively instructs your body to store fat in one specific location, the abdomen, deep around the organs. Visceral fat. Research published in the journal Obesity found that people with chronically elevated morning cortisol carried significantly more visceral fat, regardless of their total calorie intake. Regardless of calories. This is why some people eat carefully, exercise consistently, and still cannot shift the fat around their middle. Their cortisol pattern is working against them before the day has even started. To understand why the morning window matters so much, you need to understand how cortisol and insulin interact. Think of cortisol as the alarm system, and insulin as the storage manager. When cortisol rises, it signals your liver to dump glucose into the bloodstream, mobilizing energy fast. Your body thinks it needs to run or fight. Blood sugar climbs rapidly. Your pancreas responds by releasing insulin to manage that blood sugar, and insulin's preferred storage location when cortisol is involved. Abdominal fat cells. Why there specifically? Fat cells in the abdomen have four times more cortisol receptors than fat cells anywhere else in the body. They are biologically designed to receive and hold fat when the stress response is active. Your body is not malfunctioning. It is doing exactly what evolution programmed it to do, storing emergency energy reserves in the most accessible location possible. The problem is that your body cannot tell the difference between a genuine survival threat and a stressful morning scroll through your inbox. It responds to both the same way. So the cycle looks like this. Cortisol spikes. Blood sugar rises. Insulin floods in. Abdominal fat cells lock down. And your body, instead of burning the fat it stored overnight, protects it and adds to it. This cycle repeats every single morning, day after day, year after year. A study from psychoneuroendocrinology confirmed that the cortisol awakening response peaks within 30 minutes of waking. That 30-minute window is the single most important metabolic moment of your entire day. What you do inside that window either amplifies the cortisol spike and keeps fat locked in, or dampens it and flips your body toward fat burning for the rest of the day. Most people amplify it without realizing it. Here are the 4 most common morning habits that keep cortisol elevated well past the point it should naturally decline. Mistake 1. Checking your phone first. Your phone is a cortisol delivery device. Within seconds of opening it, your brain begins processing dozens of unresolved social and informational signals. Each one triggers a micro-stress response. Your brain does not distinguish between a work email and a genuine threat. It responds to both. Research from the University of California found that checking a phone within the first few minutes of waking measurably elevated cortisol compared to a phone-free morning. That single habit is quietly keeping your fat cells locked every morning before you have even stood up. Mistake 2. Eating sugar or refined carbs first. Cereal, toast, fruit juice, a sweetened coffee drink. These are the 4 most common first foods in the modern morning, and every single one causes a rapid blood sugar spike, which triggers an insulin response, which lands directly on cortisol receptors that are already fully activated. The combination of elevated cortisol and elevated insulin in the same window is the most powerful fat storage signal your body knows. It is a double lock on your abdominal fat cells. Mistake 3. Skipping morning movement. Cortisol's biological job is to prepare you for physical activity. It mobilizes energy so you can move. When you mobilize that energy and then sit completely still, whether at a desk, in a car, or staring at a screen, the circulating glucose has nowhere productive to go. Insulin rises to manage it. Fat follows. Even 10 minutes of light movement gives cortisol's energy somewhere useful to go and begins bringing the hormone back toward baseline naturally. Mistake 4. Coffee before eating. Caffeine directly stimulates cortisol production. On an empty stomach, in the first 30 minutes after waking, when cortisol is already at its natural daily peak, adding a cortisol stimulant amplifies the spike significantly. The fix is not giving up coffee. It is timing it correctly. Something the reset covers in step 4. Here is exactly what to do instead. 5 steps. A specific sequence, each one designed to work with your cortisol rhythm rather than against it. Step 1. No phone for 10 minutes. Before anything else, do not touch your phone. Give your cortisol awakening response 10 minutes to complete its natural arc without amplification. Let your nervous system wake up on its own terms. Use those 10 minutes to hydrate, breathe, and let your brain transition out of sleep without loading it with information it immediately needs to process. This single change alone has been shown in research to meaningfully reduce the morning cortisol spike. Step 2. Water with electrolytes immediately. While you slept, your body was running its repair systems and losing fluid through respiration. You wake up dehydrated. Dehydration is a physiological stressor, and physiological stress elevates cortisol. 16 ounces of water with a small amount of sodium, a pinch of sea salt, or a basic electrolyte mix immediately begins rehydrating your cells and reducing the stress response. Hydrated cells regulate cortisol more efficiently. Depleted cells cannot. Step 3. 10 minutes of light movement. Before eating. Before coffee. 10 minutes of low-intensity movement. A short walk outside if possible, gentle stretching, or simple body weight movement. 2 important things happen here. First, you give cortisol's mobilized energy somewhere productive to go, burning through circulating glucose rather than routing it into fat storage. Second, natural morning light hitting your retinas signals your internal clock to begin the cortisol decline on schedule. Research from PLOS-1 found that morning light exposure within 30 minutes of waking significantly improved cortisol rhythm regulation compared to indoor-only mornings. Step 4. Wait 90 minutes before coffee. By 90 minutes after waking, your natural cortisol peak has begun its decline. Caffeine consumed at this point enhances alertness without amplifying the spike. You get the full benefit of coffee without the cortisol consequence. 90 minutes. Not immediately. Not 30 minutes in. 90 minutes. This is the single most common morning mistake people make, and the easiest one to fix. Step 5. Break your fast with protein and fat. When you do eat, your first meal should be built around protein and healthy fat with minimal refined carbohydrates. Eggs, salmon, plain Greek yogurt, avocado. These foods do not spike insulin meaningfully. They provide stable, sustained energy that keeps blood sugar level, which keeps insulin level, which removes the most powerful signal directing cortisol toward abdominal fat storage. A 2022 study published in Nutrients found that a high-protein morning meal reduced cortisol levels measurably more than a high-carbohydrate meal consumed at the same time, with the effect lasting well into the afternoon. Your breakfast is not just fuel, it is a hormonal signal. Make it the right one. Let me give you the full sequence one final time. No phone for 10 minutes. Water with electrolytes immediately. 10 minutes of light movement. Coffee at 90 minutes. Break your fast with protein and fat. 5 steps. Less than 5 minutes of actual decision-making. And a completely different hormonal environment, one that burns fat instead of storing it, for the entire rest of your day. The belly fat most people are carrying is not a calorie problem. The research is clear. It is a cortisol problem, a morning problem, a rhythm problem. And now you know exactly how to fix it. Drop a comment right now. Which of these 5 steps are you starting tomorrow morning? Tell me where you are starting from. I read every single one. And before you go, ask yourself this. If cortisol controls where your body stores fat in the morning, what do you think it is doing to your metabolism while you sleep at night? Because the evening cortisol pattern is just as critical. And most people are making 3 specific mistakes every single night that undo all the progress they built during the day. That information is on this channel. If this helped, hit like and subscribe. For regular diet and exercise tips and tricks, be sure to follow us on X and Instagram, using the links in the video description below. Also stop by the diet and exercise website linked in the comments below. We did the research for you, and we sorted out items that are only evidence-backed and lab-tested to deliver real measurable outcomes. And remember, when it comes to diet and exercise, there are no gimmicks, just results. Thanks for tuning in.